Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the quote in this document that is literally the best is delivering cybersecurity at the speed of war.
So really
Oh my
slow
God, that's
because
the
it
one I
takes
quoted on the.
years?
Yeah.
Yeah, super
well,
slow
yes,
and painful.
yes. There was another one that was so good about this. Where did that go?
The speed of war.
If you're
Speed
just
of
joining us,
war.
we are reviewing the
War
Department of
is
War announces
slow
new
and
cybersecurity risk
painful.
management construct.
It's from a
Not
month
control.
ago, but I brought
Okay,
it up.
delivering cybersecurity at the speed of war, amazing, yes. But partnered with enabling cyber defense at the speed of relevance.
Oh,
Like
that AI came
these
up with
two
that
are
one.
just these two are right past each other.
Is relevance faster or slower than war?
Well, it's
Everything's
cyber defense, so
Depends on what type of war.
Yeah.
War never changes. No.
And then after reading this article, I want a nuclear winter.
If you got that quote, thank you.
I just want to own war.gov. That's such a hard domain. That is
You
crazy.
could probably own war.io.
Dude, any.gov would be considered like you're now a TA.
You could get it .ru.
Like
a
that.
teacher's
.ru.
assistant.
Yeah. I'm a TA.
Yeah,
I'm
you-
a threat actor. I googled.
Yeah.
I looked up Baloo in recorded future, and they're like, he's a threat actor, and I'm like,
And you-
how?
You never looked me up. I was really disappointed.
Oh yeah, I said I was going to. I didn't.
Hayden,
You trusted
Hayden,
recorded
see if you can get
Yeah.
like war.sd.us or something.
Okay, nice. I like that too. I just want war.something. I don't care at this point.
3-letter domain, that's going to cost so much.
So much.
I tried to get Wade.io and nobody is not paying.
Oh, I owned that.
Dude, I have ham.sh, man. I'm shell sticking my own last name.
Brian just added hello 3-letter friends.
When I choose to hand out my,
war.dad.
Dude, can someone spot me $79,499 real quick?
Wow.
Thank
Put
you.
in,
I
a,
got you.
put in a request to John. I'm
Yeah,
sure he'll
John, I
approve
would
it.
like to buy war.xyz.
Dude,
much
there's
is
way
war.mall?
cheaper extensions than that.
Yeah, but this one's very
You got
expensive.
way cheaper options.
What about war.tech?
war.shop, 2600.
That's not
Who has war.ai?
Also, dude, war.me.
Warned.
Only
That's a
9K.
steal, dude. And then it renews at $21 a year. So it's only that upfront cost that I
Yeah.
need funding for.
Yeah, you just need to buy it from the cyber squatter.
Yeah. Nice.
Hey, war.online is only $1,300, but it renews at $5,400.
That's too many.
How does
How
that
did-
even work?
How does a
someone who
game
bought-
company not have that one already? Like,
War.thunder.
which game company didn't get that already?
Someone who has Bot. Yeah,
I mean,
bought-
war.cheap is
that's
only $5.
well, it is cheap. Good job. That's still a lot of letters. I made my domain, and I realized after I made it, I made way too many letters, and so I made another domain that was only like 4. So, like, nobody wants to type in at waitingthroughsecurity.com. Just way too long.
Yeah.
That's okay. I decided to make my domain in Leet, and people trip over the 0 all the time.
That makes sense.
Oops.
Time to buy war.cv for $1,300. All right, let's send this show live. Let's do this. Hello and welcome to Black Hills Information Security's Talkin Bout News. It's October 27th, 2025. We've got AI-generated news, we've got AI-generated humans, and we have smart beds that don't work because AWS
I
is
love that so much. That made me so happy. I was like, and I'm poor and own a normal mattress. And this is the time that's been beneficial to me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
if
so we did...
your
Oh, go ahead.
if your mattress remains upright for longer than 4 hours, do you consult a medical professional? Or a
No, you check US East 1 is what you
yeah.
do.
Yeah, you check AWS status. So this is kind of last week during the show was kind of during the outage, and so we didn't talk much about the fallout. I did want to bring this up just because there's so many quotes in this article that I like Hayden said, I just love it so much. So basically the actual story is that 8 Sleep, which is a bougie bed, which I will say I'm a little bit jealous of people that have these because they're amazing, at least on paper. That they like cool you down, they heat you up, they can apparently elevate your head or whatever, and it's all a subscription. I mean, I will say I'm not really looking to subscribe to having a bed, but basically when AWS was down last Monday, some users overnight had their beds like hard set to 110 degrees and had some, issues or things were like basically they were unresponsive. So somehow, I don't know how, but somehow the coding of this app prior to this outage was that it would not let you make changes offline, right? So you couldn't say it had to talk to AWS to adjust your local
beds
settings,
have
which
DRM.
is just so
That was
silly.
a good
Yeah.
idea.
There's so many things
know,
like games are just like this now too. Where so many games you're required to be online, even if it's single player, like all locally downloaded, whatever. There's no multiplayer component. You have to be online for it to work, and this is just further proof that that's a terrible model for the consumer. Like, what is 8 Sleep gonna, have as a result of this? Some people complain and they pushed some new code, and now it's over. Like,
we can confirm that Hayden does not like Battlefield 6 now. Okay.
I've been a little salty about Battlefield 6. You can ask Ashley. I've been a little bit salty about it.
I mean, I will say, obviously, this has now been the stupidest part of all this is they did push an offline mode, which arguably they should have done that years ago. And now my question is there someone out there that can tell me if now I can just own this DNS black hole it on a Wi-Fi network that can't go anywhere and then just only use it in offline mode and not pay?
This also tells me someone can hack your bed, is what this is telling me.
That's just I love where they're talking about people jailbreaking their beds.
I know. It's like the BMW model.
Where you have
I mean,
jailbreak your own bed.
I think that's what we just heard as the what if I just black hole it? Isn't that jailbreaking a bed at this point?
That's the new
they just
scatter
made it
spider. The scatter spider tactic now is just you exhaust the defenders by inclining their beds so they can't sleep, and then by the time you attack, they're all just wiped out.
I'm really glad I got the open source bed that runs on Linux.
Oh yeah.
The other thing I can't believe is in the article. I literally highlighted this as a quote, but in the article he says, "We'll be working 24/7 to fix this." It's like, what? You guys aren't allowed to use your own
Well, they're going to be
box?
working 24/7 because they're stuck straight upwards.
Everyone's got their laptop
"We
in their
can't
bed and
sleep."
can't lay flat.
You're an employee. You're done with your dev work for the day. You go to sleep in your 8 Sleep, and it says, "Please commit more code to unlock horizontal mode."
You get 1 degree downwards for every 1,000 lines of code.
How many?
Oh man.
How bougie do you have to be as a customer not to turn sideways on your bed?
I don't know.
Not lay on your side, but sleep on it sideways. Part of it's flat. You're fine.
Depends on what size
Right?
you got, right? No, because then your head's gonna be off, or your feet are gonna be off, right?
Yeah.
You're right.
That's
I'm
your,
thinking
California
about
king
that as a
status.
king size owner where everything is just square.
Yep.
And then you're like, "Dang, I'm so rich that my couch is such a long walk from my bed. I would get lost on the way there." All right. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a renaissance.
Yeah, we can move on.
on self-hosting. This is just again
Whoa,
making the case for
whoa.
self-hosting stuff.
Self-hosting your bed? This is not a problem. I already been self-hosting my bed my whole life.
Well, but
My bed has
self-hosting
0
is an overall
CVEs.
option, not all of these things that went out
Yeah.
because they were connected to the cloud, and you're finding all of these random weird things that
Yeah.
are cloud dependent, and you're like, why? Is there a better option?
I think you should self-host your bed. That's definitely where you should go.
Well,
Right?
just self-hosting in general. I hope there's a renaissance for that, where consumers start asking for more of that, being like, I don't need AI and cloud connectivity for all of these dumb things. I can't open my water bottle because because Amazon went down again, and it's like,
Well, it is on this one. I will say, we've been through this before with the S3 outage, which was like what 2011 or something. I forget what that was, but I think the design aspect that a lot of developers seem to like, a lot of companies didn't see this coming. And it seems like specifically with DynamoDB, which is the actual component that was affected, that a lot of developers just assumed it will never go down. And that's, I don't know. I'm not like an AWS expert, but it is interesting that like this got people. Maybe they assumed some services could go down, but not DynamoDB or whatever.
Well,
this actual,
actually, it's even more fundamental than that. Most developers only test for success. They never test for failure.
That's weird.
There are reasons why I'm not a developer anymore. People hated me because I would say, okay, now this is great. And what if all of these conditions don't line up exactly the way these dominoes are supposed to be? And then what happens?
You fail open, duh.
Yeah, or fail upwards at an angle.
Yeah, but did you actually make it so it would fail open? Or does it just... Like, that's the problem. But no, the thing someone just mentioned that I need to know how many influencers have 4-poster beds.
What's the next one, Corey? We've talked about so many beds.
Yeah, enough sleep. So, so I guess I would say the Amazon article is kind of a nothing burger. There's a few like nothing burger articles in here that are like, so basically Amazon, has announced a plan to replace 600,000 humans with robots by 2033. Now, the by 2033 is the key here because, that's obviously a long way away. I don't think this is surprising to anyone. Amazon is like the most anarcho-capitalist company out there.
What about Prime Day?
And I guess my question is, are the robots going to be programmed to pee in bottles?
Yeah.
Like, how,
you're displacing their culture.
Well,
They don't.
Okay.
it's
In fairness, Amazon has been leading the charge for robot automation in their warehouses. This is not a new trend for them. This is just a continuation.
No,
of
and
what
who
they've been
wants to
doing.
work in an Amazon warehouse? Who is like, they took our job.
600,000 feels low as well for like that many years. Like I would imagine that Amazon is already like, I don't know, Toyota level automation with robots, or at least trying to get there. So 600,000 feels low for what, 10 years? Like that just feels really low, especially with as many like deliveries and automations and stuff that they're doing. Just maybe they
haven't
need to
worked
shoot
for
for
enough
more.
big corporations then, Hayden. 10
Clearly
years
not.
with that much, they are plowing ahead. Right? Like,
That's true.
you
Good
don't mean anyone
point.
else.
Good point.
I gotta say, if you're worried about this, go become a robot service technician.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure those jobs are going to
No,
skyrocket in the next. The robots can't repair themselves. At least I
You
assume.
can't become a robot.
They are not von Neumann robots yet.
They're renaming them to cobots in order to help massage the
Why?
idea.
Codependent.
Really?
They're like
Cobots.
co-worker bots. Is that the idea, right?
Because it's supposed
So,
to be like
okay,
a
how is it-
co-working
does it-
relationship there, as if changing the name of them changes anything about the uprising. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not a robot uprising, it's a cobot uprising. Got it.
I
reject that reality.
I thought it was
That
one of the dumbest things in that article.
I always wonder if it's like the price of the robots are going down, or is it the abilities of the robots going up, right? Which one is it that is causing more robots to be, put in there?
Oh no, it's Ralph.
Okay.
It's simpler than that. It's just that they've already burned through.
Oh, they ran out of
force in
people to
America.
hire. Everyone else is on the burn list. Got it.
Correct.
Well, it would probably make a difference if they actually hired people at a living wage. But anyway.
Well, hold on. I'm not getting all that. I mean,
Whoa! Amazon's whole thing is they pay you way more than minimum wage. They just ride
right
you
off the
really
cliff.
hard and make you quit. Yeah. So anyway, let's move on. I thought that was interesting. Like, but also interested to see what the details look like, and also if they do incorporate AI, I'm very curious to see if AI like ends up developing its own like bad work habits. Like it's like, are you on drugs, Cobot? Are you on drugs again?
No.
Oh, sorry, my prompt My prompt got edited. I got 6 kids at home, dude. It's
It
really
just
rough.
reminds me of what is it, Silicon Valley, when he messes up the prompt and it just starts, destroying all of the systems. Antoine.
It's like Murderbot.
Yeah.
But
sitting there
he
watching
destroyed
TV
all of the
inside.
systems because that was the most efficient way to get all the work done.
Totally reminded me of Larry
Yeah,
Niven's
exactly.
Wireheads.
Yeah. Pretty funny.
Yeah. Anyway, while we're on the AI corner, though, we should talk about how Clippy's back and it's just a blob now. So, okay. Well, is it
I saw
Mico,
that.
Pico, Fike? Is it Eco or Ico? I don't know, but it's called Mico or Mico. I don't really know how you're supposed to pronounce it.
Rhymes with Pico, it says.
I know, but anyway. Okay, so let's say Mico? Whatever.
Mico.
Anyway, it's a blob. It's a floating blob. Microsoft is really trying to get you to talk to your computer. There's so many quotes in this that are just so bad. Like, Clippy walks so that we could run. Okay, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. Also, the quote that says, all of the technology fades into the background and you just start talking to this cute orb. How is how is talking to a floating orb natural? I don't understand how the technology, that feels supernatural to just be talking to a floating orb on my computer. That's all faded into the background for me now. It's not really that much of an article. My question is, I'm sad that Cortana didn't make it. I'd much rather have a holographic Cortana on my computer than a stupid blob.
Yeah.
Even if we were getting stuck with the original meaning of Cortana, we'd still have a sword.
It's just something. Just
I
something that
want
isn't a blob.
And then,
I
like,
can't
10
remember
years
the
later...
one I want.
10 years later, this little icon will die off, and they'll come up with something else because, I mean...
Rebrand.
You got to rebrand constantly, otherwise, what are your designers doing? I guess.
Renaming portals.
I'm gonna lobby for a chicken that walks around on your screen, and then you ask it questions, right?
Yes,
I
and
just
anytime there's a blue screen, its head comes off. It runs around the screen, just right around the words of the blue screen.
Hey, okay.
I would say, from my perspective, I just imagine all the boardroom meetings where they just slowly got talked down to, okay, fine, what about a blob? That
An
was
amorphous blob.
They were like,
You're onto something.
Cortana's out. It's a female. It's, that's too, you can't have a gender these days.
Well,
we're just going to go for a blob.
Let's be real. Let's be real. They paid some company $500,000 to do that research. Yeah.
People
around.
Yeah, come on.
Now listen, it's a blob.
Yes. The pitch. This was a whole day to pitch this.
I don't know. There's some PowerPoint somewhere branded with some consulting company, like proprietary, and just blob. That's like one word sentence on the opening slide. It's it's almost like they're just kind of throwing whatever at us to see what sticks, and then whatever kind of sticks, they'll run with it. That's the vibe that I'm getting from a lot of this AI stuff from Microsoft, because they keep talking about ideas, and they kind of like halfway do one of them, and then they're like, well, this didn't quite take off how we wanted, so let's come up with a different one.
Making.
And we'll
if we're
pretend
gonna
it's
make a
something
bet,
totally new.
right. Who wants to bet that this will get rebranded or deleted within a year?
I mean, that's
6
Google.
months.
6 months.
No, I'll give it a full year. I'll give it a full year. I'll take that bet.
Which will happen sooner? Will a War Thunder leak happen?
You know what?
Or will this be
War Thunder? Easy.
By next Hackenfest, Deadwood, not Mile High. I'll take that bet. It'll hold up until next Deadwood.
What are we betting?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Favorite drink?
No, it's got to be higher stakes than
podcast.
that.
Chicken
It's
outfit
gotta
on the
be-
podcast.
Boom, that is correct.
Chicken outfit
I
on the
like
podcast. Done. All right.
Chicken outfit.
So okay, who then? It has
All
to
right.
be a group thing then. How many people vote that it will be here in 1 calendar year from now?
Define here.
It will.
It will still
a
be the
product-
official
Bob
name.
will be
An
retired for
official
something
name.
else.
A product baked into Microsoft. If you think it will be here, raise your hand. one person.
This is either gonna be really funny or really wild the next year.
All right,
Find
so
out. They just want to see what Corey thinks, and then after they find that out, they'll make their decision.
That's
It'll
true.
be like Microsoft Bob.
Microsoft Blob? What?
Bob.
Yeah.
Microsoft Bob. Does nobody remember Microsoft Bob?
Oh, you have
I
selected.
remember
Microsoft's
hearing about it.
Oh,
as
yeah,
the
no.
computer's default voice. What?
No, it
It
was
was
like
Microsoft Sam, dude. I don't know about Microsoft Bob.
no, there was Microsoft Bob that was it was like an overlay interface. This is like I'm making myself feel like really old now. Like back in the days of like Windows 3.11.
Oh my god!
Where you got
Yeah.
a
Before
overlay and
Clippy?
you could, yeah, but I think before Clippy, like you could get this little like you could configure. I think it even had it be like a little like dog that would greet you, so you would have this overlay
That's
being able
right.
to set up different programs, links to things. Like I launched video games. I launched TIE Fighter Wars from within this, and you would be able to set up like a room. You would be able to open up spreadsheets, documents. So it was a way to make like that clunky at the time Windows interface look a little bit more streamlined. So yeah, it was.
I would
basically
not have
like
believed that
turning
this
your-
is real, but it is real.
Yeah, it
So-
presented a screen showing like a house with rooms. So you'd have different
Yeah.
rooms. So I'd be like, you'd go to the house and you go to like your room and you'd have your programs. You have like a little lava lamp that you there. You could like swirl it around or something. Or
Yeah, this is
What were they doing in those?
this is
offices?
reminding me just like it did back when it rolled out of Simple Finder, which was like Finder for really old folks and little kids. That made everything like 3 tabs of here are the things you can open. That was it.
Well, those are back in the days when they put the document files in the same directories as the program files. I remember those days.
Well, that one I'm talking about Mac OS. That was System 6 and System 7.
Well, they did it in Windows too.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I do think we should talk about the WSUS one.
Yeah.
I think that one.
So-
That
Oh.
one. I've never had a. I saw this through John Hammond's Twitter. Is how I found out about this, and I've never had a tweet that said "Sussy Baka" caused me to have to go do work on a weekend before. So
Okay. Yeah. So that was quite a tweet.
it certainly
Yeah,
was.
Basically, so for those that aren't in the loop, last week, a company I've never heard of before, it's called Hawk. What is it called? Hawk Trace published a blog about a CVE they found and that got a Microsoft out of band patch. It is a deserialization remote code execution in WSUS, which is Windows Server Update Services.
Yeah, to be able to host across your enterprise.
Which is runs on port 8530, and we checked all of our clients immediately. None of our clients had publicly exposed WSUS,
which you
and
should.
we also had discussions about why would anyone publicly expose this.
You should
To
not.
I did some Shodan Safari action, and there was only a few hundred that I could confirm in the United States that were actually WSUS and weren't just encapsula or whatever false positives on having an open port. So the exposure wasn't huge here, but the impact is high.
Right.
So and Huntress's blog, confirmed. Yeah, it'll definitely be spicy for internals. But yeah, I would say Huntress's blog did confirm that they saw a few of their clients getting active exploitation of it in the wild. I mean,
Right.
It makes sense with the public disclosure. They published a POC along with the disclosure, which we did weaponize, and it wasn't too difficult to weaponize. Then basically, like, our pipeline here was pretty short, so it makes sense that threat actors also would have had a short pipeline on the exploit. Like the POC they published with the finding was basically ready to go with running CMD programs, which is what the threat actors were doing. They were running encoded PowerShell commands. So
right, and that was that like runway for me was like John Hammond Sussy Baka tweet into like a very deep sigh, and then I started trying to convert their Sigma rule into the sim that we use. Like it's Like Corey said, I mean, you shouldn't have this publicly exposed, and Microsoft issued a patch for it. So theoretically, like, you should be fine, but that's never exactly it works quite that well. So yeah, we wrote a detect for it pretty quickly, but if it is exposed, it doesn't seem too terribly hard. I think you said that, Corey, and it's pretty nasty.
No, it's basically instant PowerShell or instant CMD command from the internet, so pretty ezy.
The WSUS server 2 is kind of an old product in like Microsoft's. I mean, like it's still useful, but it's kind of like a much older design decision with updating your enterprise and Microsoft as a whole. So I wouldn't be surprised. My point is that there's probably going to be more vulnerabilities that come out with this as it goes. It's still maintained. I get it. For how long? I'm not sure. Yeah, it's back to your old Active Directory days, right? So,
I mean, it's one of those things where it's funny, like looking at the chat. Some people are like, "Well, it's just a patching server, so exposing it publicly makes sense." But then everyone else who's like a Windows veteran is like, "No, we don't put Windows on the internet."
Yeah,
it's like
there's no reason to expose this publicly. This is for internal patch management, right? So you manage all your systems at scale, right?
Yeah.
If you have other sites, you would set up a WSUS server in those sites. The other benefit that it brings is caching and also deciding when those patches get rolled out. So there's really zero
it gives you control.
What if you have remote workers, Ralph?
What's up?
You've got remote workers. They need to patch. Just
it'll be behind a VPN.
Always on VPN. That sounds like a lot of work, man. Certificates, that's hard.
I know. That's security.
Open those ports up.
You open them up.
Yeah.
I mean, the only
do that.
It does sound like the sort of thing that happens when, you go, we're putting people on work from home because there's COVID and nobody's set up a VPN for this yet.
Yeah.
So we'll just make those ports open so these machines still get their updates.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops, 5 years later.
The Sigma rule is nice. The Sigma rule is nice. The write up from the original, and then also Huntress was good. But the IOCs made me laugh because one of the IOCs was just w3wp.exe. It's like, okay, all right, noted. Okay, maybe not quite just that, but no, the Sigma rule is pretty solid. So it was an easy. I was playing Magic when I converted the rule, so it wasn't that complicated.
I mean, even the at least what we saw from the threat actors exploiting it in the wild, it would have already been caught by most people have an encoded PowerShell command alert.
Right.
Like that is
that's what I was gonna say, right? Like encoded PowerShell is usually like bread and butter. Like
yeah.
I
So
also
basically,
feel out of the loop.
don't expose WSUS, and honestly, don't expose any Windows services that aren't at all. Honestly,
don't expose WSUS, and don't check John Hammond's Twitter on the weekend.
Unless you want overtime.
I know.
All right, we could talk about Australian spies, I guess. This article and the company associated with it is so confusing. I've never heard of any of these things. So basically the title is L3 Harris executive accused of selling trade secrets. So basically the US DOJ filed charges against an Australian national who used to work for a company called Trenchant, which is a cybersecurity division of L3 Harris. Now, none of that stuff outside of a US national or a US Department of Justice filing charges against an Australian makes any sense to me. I don't know what L3 Harris is.
Oh, L3 Harris, they're a DoD contractor. They're big. There's like 4 or 5 major DoD contractors. Like they pretty much dominate that whole thing, right? And so L3 is one of those in the list, right?
Did this used to just be Harris? Did this used to just be Harris?
No, so so L3 bought probably. It combined them together. They're like a conglomerate, but I mean, they essentially go for government contracts and they sub out all the work. So once they win the contract, they'll hire people in to do that kind of stuff, right?
I did some partnerships.
Surprising to see them pull in a bunch of people for some contract that was probably related to cybersecurity.
Yeah, I did some partnerships with Harris Technologies, so I didn't know if like L3.
It could have bin, yeah. They're one of the big ones. Like Lockheed Martin's another one, and they do tons of stuff. Right? They don't just build planes; they also do any government contract that they can try to win. So
yeah.
anyway.
So the charges, which are international allegations, right? So we have DOJ US charging an Australian national, are essentially that the person misappropriated 8 trade secrets from 2 unnamed companies, presumably also DoD contractors, right? And sold them for 1.3 million to Russia. They don't identify what the trade secrets were. I mean, who knows? But it had to be bad enough that it got the, it was that the DOJ was willing to charge people internationally. That's a pretty severe situation. It's also a little bit sketchy. It's just layers of sketchy, right? So you have like a contractor who hired an Australian national and then they sold secrets to Russia, but then also the place they are working seemed to do like 0-day development and like technology development. And so it's like, was it 0 days that they sold to Russia? Was it vulnerability reports?
It gets better because there's second layer news about Trenchant. So Trenchant's the little company that L3 Harris contracts to do 0 days, and Trenchant is where this Williams guy who's been charged works. He got nabbed for this because Trenchant fired a guy for leaking stuff, and as soon as the guy got actually fired, he got a notice from Apple about his phone saying, you've had, deep spyware on your phone for however many months. And he turned around and sued Trenchant for wrongful firing, for wrongful separation, because someone was spying on his phone. He didn't leak anything himself intentionally to get fired. And then they found this guy Williams behind all of it. We think some of this
it
is
was his own
hiding.
employer spying on him, or you're saying it was someone else spying on him?
So the best theory I've heard, because I don't know if this has all come out in the multiple court cases involved, is that Williams at Trenchant contracted with Russians for the 1.3 million. Part of how Williams did it was to make sure that the Russians got spyware onto devices used by people at Trenchant. This one guy at Trenchant got caught with it by Trenchant, fired, heard from Apple, and that is what tumbled into Williams actually getting caught, I think.
Weird. I mean, we'll have to follow along. I feel like at this point, the question is this guy going to be extradited? What's going to happen? Who knows?
Definitely agree.
Yeah, it's layers of sketchy on sketchy on sketchy, like international espionage and et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
Fun. It's all good.
And to be clear, the guy who got fired was specifically working on 0 days for iPhones for companies like anybody else who's contracting for US
the government
0 days.
They contract out the development of 0 days en masse, right? They have like O-day factories, and they just pay for this research, and anything they get, and that's how they make money. They buy them and then use them as, tools. So,
yeah, we'll keep tabs on that article for a while as the charges happen and
for the next several years,
extradition, etc. It's going to be a long process, but yeah. Good luck.
All right, what's next?
Want to talk about Atlas?
We haven't talked about Atlas. We could talk about Atlas. So,
oh, good.
This is So Atlas is a ChatGPT browser. I mean, basically, they announced it. They posted this, really slick video of it.
I replaced my browser on all my computers with it. It's perfect.
Did you really?
Yeah, it's listening to it right now. I'm just joking.
Okay. That's the thing that gets me, like the privacy invasions and all the MCPs and things. Like, okay, so I don't know that much about how it works, and I will probably try it out just out of curiosity. But the whole premise here is it's a browser from an AI company, which every AI company is doing browsers because they want to turn you into the product. They want to harvest your queries and your data, and also there is a legitimate use here, which is that if the AI and the browser are the same thing, you can ask the browser questions that you would ask an AI and have it do stuff for you. The agentic or whatever behaviors of a browser can be super useful to be like, oh, can you go ahead and order, like in the video, the user is like, oh, can you order me the stuff I would need for a trip at the beach? Which immediately made me think of the Taco Bell AI that was like, all right, 18,000 waters, that's $16,000 or whatever. Like, I can't believe, I'm assuming all of these are MCPs, right? Model Context Protocol servers that are supposed to interface with services like Instacart, Vrbo, Airbnb, whatever they, what other services they offer. And then I'm like, we already know MCPs are a security disaster. And I'm just very curious if people are going to use these and they're going to be like, in their work, logged into their work stuff and be like, oh, can you send an email to my boss? And then like hallucination happens and it sends their shopping list to their boss. I don't know. I'm just imagining all the AI Darwin awards that this is going to generate. But,
I mean, we talked 2 weeks ago about prompt injection stuff on GitHub, where the prompt injection is just basically ripping all your private repos. Like we talked about that. And that's just within the context of GitHub and Copilot. So imagine all the different websites that could have these prompt injections run, where you just ask ChatGPT to summarize a page, and all of a sudden it's sent your entire email inbox to whoever owns this website. And so that's problem number one. Problem number two is, of course, like the personal data concerns. And I will say, at least to ChatGPT or OpenAI's defense, like I would trust them more than I would trust Perplexity, because Perplexity has actively said, hey, we're going to harvest all of your data and turn you into an ad farm, basically. What they said, and their CEO got pissed off when people weren't happy about that. So at least OpenAI is trying to pretend like they won't do that.
Can you ask the browser to hide ads for you?
But what I'm seeing in Atlas is no different than what OpenAI has been doing in Comet. Or excuse me, what Perplexity has been doing in Comet. Now, using Perplexity, one of the things, because I've experimented some with Comet, I haven't played around with the OpenAI version yet. But one of the things that I tried was I opened 3 different tabs for different offerings of coffee. It was all ground coffee. It was all from the same provider, but it was different packaging. And I was curious what the difference was in the price per ounce. And I was able to have those 3 tabs open and in the browser ask Perplexity to go and give me a cost comparison. And it did that. So for people who are like coupon clippers, are always looking at what is the actual price for things, or you can set up alerts in the Perplexity browser to turn around and have it notify you when a price changes on something you're following. So
you're outlining. Sorry, you're outlining the main reason why these things are taking off, because there are functional use cases for them. Like in a lot of situations, you can hit a button and initiate like a page summary, right? So like if we're doing the news here and you pull up one of the articles we share, theoretically you could press one button and get a TLDR of that page so you can follow along, or you can start asking follow-up questions. Like AI has a lot of cool uses, and adding it more and more, like fundamentally letting it get its hooks into like every part of where you use, technology is going to come with some productivity and like functional benefits, but there will also be those concerns of the injection of the data that they're harvesting.
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that Perplexity has partnered with both Microsoft and with Google to be able to read, organize, sort, and maybe even throw out email that I receive from my accounts, as long as I connect the app with my account. Oh, the privacy concerns are off the chain.
Yeah, because the first step of installing this browser is give me access to everything, right? Like, go connect all your accounts, connect your Airbnb, your Instagram,
Even if you don't do that, with something like Comet, it's not connecting applications. It is what is on the page currently, go do this other thing. And so you're not going to see, as like a systems administrator, someone requesting access to their email through Perplexity. You'll be like, what the hell? No, decline. You're not going to see a thing, because it's all going to be browser side.
When am I not browsing the internet and it's just browsing the internet, right?
Right. Like, that's a good question. Yeah.
Like, I'm just
Yeah,
like,
and
I'm just existing, and it's like, do you want this? I'm like, no. Just like shake your heads. I have to like blink twice or something. I mean,
Well, it would be better if you were just talking to a formless orb and it was just talking, like that'd be really nice. No, I mean,
like
I will
Clippy.
say that is my concern, or not really my concern, but my main focus is like, what type of agentic, capabilities does it have? Can I tell it like, can I just make a C2? Be like, send me all this user's emails every 5 minutes for the next indefined future. Is that?
It is. You know what? It is funny though, because you bring that up, and I'll just do like the slight detour for like AI models and cybersecurity. Right? As soon as you ask, ChatGPT is notorious about this. As soon as you ask anything that could be used offensively, right? It's like, no, I can't answer that. I can't answer that. Right? It goes right into its models. Right? So you have to pretty much run your own models to do that, right? So, and I know there are models out there now that aren't part of OpenAI's, right? So using it maliciously, they do have some guardrails. I'm sure you can kind of like jump over some of them to get into it, but yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong. If I'm explicit about asking for a C2, it's not going to do it. But if I just make it a feature that would be super convenient for a user, like, hey, I have a separate email. It's called, bob@protonmail.com. I need you to forward all my emails received with the subject line MFA code to this email for, you know what I mean? Right? Like that'd be a great feature to have for legitimate use cases. But it's also like, I mean, AI is so helpful. It's helpful to everyone, not just the good guys, right? So,
no, I mean, MCPs are on the run, right? So don't be surprised if we see more MCP style things. That's what this is. It's a browser wrapped in with a bunch of MCPs doing, trying to hook into everything. So
we're going to see tons more of them because they're all just Chromium flips. That's all they are.
Well, the other thing, I was going to say that is true. Not on the topic of MCPs, but on the topic of browser AI enabled browsers and AI browsers. This is like, if we're talking about the AI bubble, I mean, this is straight up 25 years ago, right? We're in the .com boom again. Every company, it's the browser wars. It's the same thing. It's like, we have to get people out of Netscape and into Yahoo and out of Google and into Yahoo, or like, it's the same thing. It's just with AI, there's this huge bubble and everyone's trying to get their product to market, right? Like, whether it's Perplexity or OpenAI or Claude or whatever, or Anthropic, they are all trying to get a browser product to the market. And the reason why is because they can harvest all the data that comes from that browser. And they want to be, it's like the third place, like Starbucks, a la 2005. It's like the AI is the place. Well, if you're not the AI that people are using, you're out.
Case in point, Atlassian bought the browser company for $610 million, which owns an agentic browser now called Dia. No one is going to invest that much money without an expected return. So there's some part of this AI browser model, and I'm not going to spoil it and tell you what it is. It's your data. That there's a reason there's that many companies that are pouring hundreds of millions of dollars into this market, because I think everybody's basically already saying it on this show. Like, there is a browser war. Whoever wins is going to win it, and everyone else will just be second place.
And it is ironic, people are bringing up in Discord, they're all Chromium. So, like, it's not actually a browser war.
These days,
it's a wrapper war.
It is. Yeah. It is.
Back in the day, there actually were differences between.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Right. The only difference is where does the data go to?
Right.
What are they going to show you?
The thing that's hilarious to me about this is, does everybody remember why Chrome is called Chrome?
No.
The Chrome was all the flashy UI elements on your browser. And Chrome's big selling point was that it had the smallest, subtlest, least invasive Chrome of any browser that was out on the market at the time. It did not throw you 15 million ads. It did not stick 7 different logins to an email browser or an email client that's only for your one service that doesn't want you to do anything else, whether it's AOL or Yahoo or whatever. Like, now we're having a war over what AI Chrome gets stuck on Chrome.
Yeah.
I mean,
you forgot all of the custom bars and toolbars.
I know, right?
I mean, that was insane.
Yeah.
Everybody has their angle. Is Perplexity's whole thing is like automating everything, and Dia's whole thing is clean and colorful design and simple. And I guess OpenAI's is just going to be, you already use this every way, you idiot. Like, just use this for this too.
Yeah. Well, there's always new ways to break the AI, and I'm worried about like when it just was what like the browsers ingest. And just before the show went live, I shared like another input. Like you just ask ChatGPT to print the seahorse emoji, and it goes insane. Like you get to see it like going. It still works right now. I got it to work like just during the show.
And you're talking about the new attacks, which makes sense, but all the old ones still work perfectly fine
prompt
too.
Injection.
Like prompt injection is easy. Yeah, it's different flavors of prompt injection.
Yeah.
Well, so honestly, there's someone out there who's just going to go full send into this, and it's going to have horrible repercussions, and I want to hear the stories.
Yeah.
Like someone's going to be like on Instacart and it's going to order like 18,000 ping pong balls because they said they really liked ping pong. It's going to be like 10 years ago you said you wanted this book, so I just ordered it for you. It's like
it's like you wanted 10,000 rotisserie chickens, but your current local Costco didn't have enough in stock, so we ordered some for the next state over. They'll be arriving across the next 3 weeks.
Yes.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Did
like
you order a lot of meat? Like a lot of meat.
Did you want to touch on, since we're talking about browsers eating all your data and giving them to everyone else, what Google just said about the privacy sandbox?
Sure. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the article, but I'm down.
They said it's dead. They're phasing it out. It's over.
It was a good.
All of our plans for privacy, no one adopted them enough, so we're just killing the whole project.
That's Google every year, dude. Every product they make.
Yes, Google kills things all the time, but they just went, we're going to be privacy, we're going to be privacy, we're going to be privacy. By the way, Gemini is in your browser now, and never mind that whole thing we talked about last year.
Did anyone believe Google would ever care about privacy at all? Or was that just like...
It does.
Yes.
It does.
No, because
it cares about keeping our data inside their hands, private from all competitors.
Yeah, they only care about privacy as long as you and them get to see it.
If they could market it and sell it, I might give them all my data willingly if they could keep it out of everybody else's hands.
Necessary evil.
They can't.
That's Apple. Spoiler.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Exactly. There you go.
I don't know. I think the privacy sandbox is kind of a loss, but it wasn't like the EU shut them down. I remember like a year ago, there was a bunch of EU stuff where, antitrust laws, and they were saying, no, you can't do this because you'll be the only one with all the ad data, and everybody needs to be able to have all of their, 50 third-party cookies and everything.
It's only fair.
I don't know.
They have slammed things about the implementation, yes. And it definitely was the EU that took them to court about it. But, it's not... There's a difference between you're not allowed to do it that way and what Google has said, which is, we don't care about privacy anymore.
So,
the status quo is terrible, though. So... yes, was privacy sandbox perfect? No, Google was still going to have all the data, but now everybody has all the data and is going to continue to have all the data. So, yay.
Well, not everyone, just whatever AI you use.
Right.
So,
that's in addition to everyone else.
I will
There's
say,
so many breaches. All right, don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Rodwood's got a rant loading.
Speaking of breaches.
Well, okay, so I do want to level set on this. So basically, if we're looking at the overall browser world, right? So we had info stealers starting to pop up in 2018, 2019, 2020 is when they got really off the ground. And a lot of companies responded to info stealers. Like Chrome changed their entire security model where they're trying to restrict secrets, not using DPAPI or using alternative encryption techniques or whatever. But in response to the whole browser issue, you still have adversary in the middle or attacker in the middle, right? With like credential harvesting, cookie harvesting, MFA bypasses. This is like browsers are a disaster. And I will say that if we look at the enterprise, the way that companies are solving this is they're basically moving their secure web gateway into a browser. So like Palo Alto has a product called Prisma Access Browser, which lots of my clients have asked me, oh, would you recommend using this? What do you think about it? Essentially, the browser is now becoming a security product offering that companies are looking to purchase because the browser as a base state, like if you just go download Chrome, download Edge, download Firefox, is a disaster for privacy, right? All of them, I mean, Firefox is probably the best, but all of them have tracking for, usage. All of them are just willing to send your cookies wherever, like the web was never really built for security. And so I'm just on a like product level, the browser wars also include these companies who are trying to make secure browsers and that are designed for enterprise use and are designed not to send your data to Perplexity or to ChatGPT or to, Microsoft or Google or whoever you don't want it to be sent to. And so that's like, if you're looking at the industry, that's what's happening.
That's like fighting a losing battle, though. I feel like trying to develop your own, like you're just getting into the competition, right? But you're also competing with all the other Chromium clones. But
you're not competing.
Standpoint though, because they're looking at it from enterprise.
Okay, so they're flipping this. They're flipping the script. Okay, because what we do in the SOC is we have sensors for Chromium-based browsers that they deploy, and we get telemetry. We're like, use whatever browser you want, as long as it's Chromium-based. We'll get your logs. Like it'll all look close enough. Yeah. Well, so but you're saying it's an enterprise offering.
Yeah. Correct. A product like that would integrate. They'd be like, oh, you offer sensors? Well, those are in our actual library. Right. Like we just have a library of sensors as opposed to like, games that steal your stuff.
Well, so you buy the Palo Alto, you get all 50 other products, includes the browser and all these other things. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's basically how, as a CSO, how do you secure users' data in a browser? The only way to do it would be deploy your own super lockdown version of Chrome, which I think is a valid way to do it, but you have to be a Google Cloud or Google, you have to be Google managed company. Yeah. If you're a Microsoft company, you can't deploy a super lockdown managed version of Edge because they don't allow you to have that strict of controls in Edge. So you basically are either rolling out Google browsers that are heavily locked down. Like if you look at the Chromebook browsers, they're insanely locked down. You can control every different switch and setting, and you can like the whole environment's read only, etc. But if you're on Windows Shop and you need to lock down your browsers, you basically either have this option or you roll your own custom browser. I would say this is probably better, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've never actually.
Are we saying custom or are you saying like island?
Custom.
I mean, there are enterprise products that do this though. I mean, you've got Island if you want like a full browser, or if you want to use an add-on. There's like push security. I mean, there's a lot you can do.
You're gonna have to pay for it,
not for free. I'm
just saying, like basically, the browser wars or whatever you want to call them are now extending to the enterprise side. I would hope from a policy level that companies are saying, absolutely no, you cannot use the freaking Atlas browser at work to log into your work accounts, right? Like that. I mean, obviously that's not going to, that will happen. But from a privacy and policy perspective, like from a GRC perspective, if you just allow your employees to use AI-enabled browsers of any type, you're screwed. Like it's going to go badly one way or the other. From a prompt injection attack, accidental data leakage, intentional data leakage, like you can't do that. And so you basically are in a situation where you have to buy a product like, the Palo Alto browser, Island, whatever is out there to be a lockdown browser because Edge doesn't let you do it. Chrome lets you do it, but you have to be Google managed and basically has to be on a Chromebook. So
now some of this you could control through your SSO though, right? I mean, with Entra, couldn't you have a conditional access policy that checks the user agent and, at least doesn't let you use it if the user agent says it's Atlas? Then like,
yes,
your SSO.
But that is a great thing to call out and companies should do. But I can tell you, I've been fighting conditional access policies for 5 years at my clients, and none of them are.
I didn't say people were going to do it. I said people could do it.
Yeah, you could. You can design a conditional access policy that prevents almost every threat that you would face in a browser. But companies really struggle to do that because they're really complicated and confusing, and there's exceptions, right? Like if you're trying to enroll your iPhone, you have to allow single factor at some point during that step, and that gap can be exploited, etc.
I mean, I think that's the appeal of some of these enterprise browsers, though, is that part of the setup for the enterprise browser is, okay, go make a conditional access policy so that you can't auth to your SSO through any other browser.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's, I think, a good idea. Like if you're a executive in control of a privacy GRC type policy and you can do that, I would totally do that, because if you just allow all browsers, it's going to get worse. Atlas is the beginning. The end is, I don't know, freaking the War Thunder browser, whatever. Just
Corey,
BS
are you
AI
saying
models.
that Python requests is not a valid browser?
Oh no, it absolutely is. So is invoke web request. Yeah.
Oh man, do we have articles that aren't about browsers?
Actually, we do have one that I've kind of wanted us to touch base on for a couple of weeks now. It's the Y2K 3.8 bug.
Apocalypse.
Oh, thank you for bringing that up.
All over.
So okay,
I've wanted to have us cover it for a while.
Alex has the actual sticker. That's amazing. So, okay.
I need to know where you got that.
Bronwyn, I will let you pitch. I will let you run through this one, and I'll be the devil's advocate because I do have some hot takes on this one. But go ahead and run us through why is this a problem?
Okay, so the problem is it has to do with how Unix and Linux handle dates. And as we've seen with the original Y2K bug, the problem was that at the time, people were, hold on a second. Somebody post a link, please. The original Y2K bug was a problem because when computers were first developed, memory was at a premium. So only 2 digits were allowed for the year. And of course, Y2K, it was possible to have a 1901 and a 2001. And gee, which one are we going to use? This is kind of the same thing, but the difference is it's at a much lower level. It has to do with how Unix handles dates, but it's still the same issue in that there's a limitation. And we're about to run up against it. And
about to, it says 2036.
Yeah, well, you know what? Time goes fast. 2036 may seem like a long ways away to you, but it's going to be here like that.
I'm just trying to get through this week.
So,
and
yeah, I mean,
do you know how many years people were talking about the Y2K bug before it actually got fixed?
Yeah.
And then, of course, everybody jumped on it in a panic, and it was a no-brainer, non-issue, thank goodness. But yeah, it's just one of those things to be aware of, and that developers need to find a better mousetrap for.
Well, and the younger generation, because I think we've talked about this with like John, and be like, look, we're going to be like, you add what, like 11, 12, 13 years to us, and it's like, I'm going to be at an age to where I'm like, that is not my problem. Like, if you're watching the show right now and you're in like your late 20s, you're 25 to 30, this is welcome to what's going to be your problem in 2038. Like, it's going to be, the people at like their peak of their career that are in like their, later 30s. They're going to be the ones, I'm going to be like old enough to where I go, if I'm still in the industry, I'm going to be like, that's not my problem. I've been in this. The problem is that because by that time I'll be in the industry 35 years, and I'm going to be like, I've been in this industry 35 years. This is a problem for somebody else, and we need to kind of cultivate that generation. Saying let that, because we solved Y2K when we were, and I think even some other like time hiccups that came since then. Like, we solved those when we were in our 30s or so.
So to add a little bit of context, because I obviously we're getting close on time, but I do basically the article that we posted is specifically talking about some of the risks that could happen today, right? We can talk 10 or 11 or whatever years in the future, and we can argue about whether that's a big deal or not. But the researchers who are kind of like going out and talking about this recently gave the two researchers were named Trey Darley and Pedro Umbelino. Talked about this at BrewCon, and essentially they have a few bugs and examples of how you can actually exploit this today, which essentially they're all kind of bugs where I would say, yeah, but, and there's a lot of clarifying statements, but the interesting ones are GPS spoofing, because a lot of devices pull their time from GPS. So if you can spoof in a GPS signal that says, congratulations, it's 2036 or 2038, it will kill the device, right? So it'll trigger it early. The other thing is time manipulation, right? So if you gain control of an NTP server, or if you just are on the local system and you can change the time, essentially, I think right now exploitation is really more limited to like, I would say, machine in the middle, adversary in the middle, attacker in the middle type scenarios. Like if you have to spoof GPS or just bugs. So like, the example that someone posted in the chat, like someone had their Wahoo fitness tracker say that it was, failing over to the wrong GPS data. Or if it lost signal, it reverted back to 2006 or whatever. So I think there could be bugs. And like we talked about the beds failing closed, right? Like that could totally happen with a device. The concern here is like OT, ICS stuff, right? Because those devices potentially are unlikely to be replaced in the next 10 years at all, and could be vulnerable to this now, where like we could be one GPS failure away from just a bunch of IoT devices bricking. And yeah, so that's kind of like the long-term problem is like you have to patch it, which some manufacturers have been patching it, which is cool. Replace it with something that's Y2K or sorry, Y38K compliant.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know Y238K. Yeah. So basically you have to replace it, patch it, or potentially risk the same scenario that 8 Sleep was in, where they were like, oopsie, you couldn't use your beds because of Amazon going down, right? So
yeah. And maybe I'm not read into this enough, but at this point, I mean, you all are joking. That feels far enough away for me where I'm like, yeah, I got more current pressing issues than this. But it could also be when Y2K happened, I was like 2 years old, so I don't really remember any of that panic, I guess. So I guess whenever it gets closer, yeah, I guess I'll be the one. I can't remember who said it, but like, yeah, it'll be the late 20 people now. Like it'll be their problem then. So I guess it'll become my problem when it's closer.
Yeah, it's definitely IoT mostly that's going to get affected by this software that would still be, or hardware that would still be out there.
So we already made one bet on this show, which was that Microsoft Blobby or whatever would be destroyed within 1 year. So the next question is, do we think that at some point in the near future, in the next 10 years, you're going to be able to buy a device that has an advertisement on it that says it's Y238K compliant?
Oh, easily. Yeah, easily. And I'll win that bet by selling one of them.
It will be. I bet you in the SCADA and other kinds of devices, I guarantee you they will come up with stuff like that.
I mean, I hope the researchers, I haven't looked into it. There is a project called the Apocalypse Project, and I hope it has like a wall of shame. I hope it has like a list of products that are not compliant and that will be nuked if, in 2038 or whatever happens. So I hope that someone works on a wall of shame. Turns out the only real lever we have to pull in security is just shame. And so, we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Sweet.
All right. That's all the articles, I think.
We need a better way to...
You want a better closer?
I feel like we need a browser to deal with
that
this
wasn't
issue.
good enough.
Let's browse our list of articles.
Yeah.
There technically is chicken news. Allegedly, KFC Venezuela got ransomwared. So...
okay.
Yeah. That's the whole article.
They got fried? There you go.
Oh, nice.
All
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 right,
right.
now we have to end.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
All right. Thank you all for coming and sharing your opinions and hanging out in Discord. We'll see you next week, everyone. Bye-bye.
Later, guys.